One of our biggest problem as a nation, Nigeria, is short-term memory syndrome. We move on so very fast. Sometimes it's like demonic. I ask myself, does it mean that everything we move on from everything, both the ones we need to fix and the ones we need to address? Everybody moves on. Insofar as it doesn't affect what you are doing as a person, we move on. Why are we not demanding electoral reforms? Why is everybody complacent as if the 2023 election was the best election we had? And we are going into the 2027 general election. Welcome to the Diary of a Broken Man, where we dissect political, economic, and social issues concerning our country, Nigeria. And today, we touch on 2027 Nigerian elections, early projections, and electoral reforms. Atiku versus Tinubu versus Obi, shifting alliances. This is the first we talk about. Now, the incumbency of the now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if seeking re-election in 2025, he will leverage the incumbency advantages, but face scrutiny over his administration's performance on the economy, security, and the social policies. Public perception is the first thing that will mar his re-election as a president. And if we are telling ourselves the truth, as a nation, we have never been worse. I'm not campaigning for anybody, but the truth is, Nigeria has never been worse. And it's as if we are sedated from our problems. We almost don't talk about anything. Everybody is quiet, playing the good child. While things are spoiling in our nation, nobody is talking. Nobody is saying anything. And people are moving on. People who bought the petrol or fuel at 200 naira back in 2023 are buying it at 1,800, 900, and they are not talking. Even those who protested in 2012, none of them is talking. When fuel was actually 97 naira, none of them is talking. And I ask myself again, are we sedated from our problems, or are we just practicing selective misunderstanding of issues in our country? Now, the next person we'll talk about is Atiku of PDP. Unfortunately, by 2027, he will be 80 plus. So I think age and past electoral losses will be a big, will weaken his morale and his appeal to the people. I don't think he will have that much appeal again to the people, except, people who are voting him based on what they know. But in reality, he will be 80 plus. And his appeal, I believe, should be lower by then, except he's looking for coalition, which we'll talk about in the later time. The PDP could face pressure to revitalize its strategy, possibly by partnering with smaller parties or embracing younger leadership. The next person is Peter Obi of Labour Party. Now, his 2023 youth-driven momentum could persist, but sustaining it requires broadening his base beyond urban centers and addressing structural challenges, example, party infrastructure. Like for me, I would tell him as a person from now to create his own party, because I personally don't understand what the Labour Party is doing. So he needs to, make a way for himself, make a move for himself. But that's for him. A PDP Labour Party alliance to unseat APC is plausible, but hinges on power sharing negotiation. Who will be the president? Who will be the vice? Personally, Obi wouldn't step down for anybody, and Atiku, I don't think, will become a vice after being a vice in the past. Now, what will be the wild card? There can be a wild card, okay? New parties or defections from major parties, example, disgruntled APC factions or Labour Party or PDP factions, could disrupt traditional voting blocks. particularly if Tinubu's governance falters. Okay? The next one is youth candidacy movements, not too young to run. Impact on our elections. Now, the 2018 law lowered barriers for youth candidates, but presidential politics remain dominated by established figures. Youth influence may manifest more in legislative and the gubernatorial races, with parties potentially fielding younger deputies or candidates to attract votes. Grassroots mobilization. Movements like the NSAS movement have politicized youth, demanding accountability and reform. Parties may adopt tech-savvy campaigns and prioritize issues like unemployment, education, IT, the reigning issues in the world, climate change, and so on to engage this demographic. What will be their challenge? The challenge of youth candidates. Youth candidates often lack funding and institutional support. P2B's 2023 success could inspire tactical voting, but systematic hurdles, example, godfatherism, still persist. Now, if you bring out the youth, because sometimes when we talk about youth, it means 40s, 50s in Nigerian system. Because in Nigeria, 30 is still a youth, 40 is still a youth. Now, if you bring out a youth, he will have to play against godfathers, play against people who not established in the institutional establishment as per integrity, but what they can buy with their money, the votes they can buy, the people they can lobby with money. That's what the youth will play against, and I don't think it's a good war to fight or a good battle to fight. Electoral violence, the risks, triggers, economic distress, ethnic polarization, and disputed results could escalate tensions. Hotspot may include the southeast, where IPOB, is used as a trigger for, Ernest Martin. They say IPOB. If you say anything as an Igbo person, they call you IPOB. That will be a hinge for some, bigoted individuals in Nigeria. Another thing is another place is Lagos State, the north, with banditry as their main issue, the Niger Delta with resource disputes, and so many other things. What will be the mitigation factor? Improved INEC transparency, example, tech-driven voting system, which we have tried, and the Mahmoud failed Nigeria, and he is not punished for it, and I have not seen anything going on as a form of punishment for him for wasting Nigerians' money. And the robust civil society monitoring could reduce fraud allegations. Security forces neutrality, and the pre-election peace accord among candidates will be critical. Social media role. Platforms may amplify hate speech, but also facilitate peace-building initiatives. Regulatory frameworks to curb misinformation will be tested. Key variables: economic conditions, inflation, unemployment, fuel subsidy could shape voter sentiment. Another one is security landscape. Progress against insurgency, banditry could bolster incumbents, but if he fails, then he's as good as not running. Coalition building, opposition unity or fragmentation will determine if anti-incumbent votes will consolidate. Finally, the 2027 election could hinge on Tinubu's governance record, opposition coalition dynamics, and youth engagement. While the president may remain with established figures, youth movements and electoral reforms could gradually shape Nigeria's political terrain. Violence risk remain high, but manageable with proactive measures. The race is poised to reflect broader societal demands for accountability and inclusivity. If we don't do electoral reforms, 2023 election is as good as nonsense. There is no mincing words about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Remember to subscribe, to share, to like, and to comment. See you on the next